Hello everybody, Andy here, and today I want to talk to you about the rest of Adepticon. Now obviously, GW, for all of their good and their evil and their sins, I think they do a pretty good reveal stream, right? It was all pre-recorded this year, I did a video about it. I think they build up a good amount of hype, and if you're into it, you can easily find it, right? Which is very useful. A lot of people went to Adepticon, and it's very, very difficult if you're not into that specific company and the one small content creator that decided to go and check them out. Like, it's kind of hard to find things. So anyway, I decided to go have a quick look about the different games that I personally am interested in, and I wanted to kind of let you know what they said in their Adepticon, because hey, maybe you follow me because you're kind of into skirmish games. I am too. Let me hit you up with some knowledge. Okay, anecdote before I get to this. Why am I talking about this? Because I wanted to know myself, right? And so what did I do? I googled the company I was interested in, which we'll get to in a moment, Adepticon. And then I just clicked on the first link. What came up? Last year's Adepticon, 2023. And I didn't even stop to think. I should have. I don't know what I was on. Two impulse purchases later. Because at last year, they announced this. Atomic Mass Games, there's a whole thing there. There's a whole video in this. I'll come back to it. They announced this here, which was the Rebel Alliance Squadron Starter Pack. It's 4 ships. Hold on, let me get out of the way. How do I do that? It's 4 ships, and everything you need to play, dice, templates, etc. And I thought this was new. So I just immediately clicked 2. The thing is, if it's revealed at Adepticon and you can immediately buy it, that's not a reveal. It didn't click until after I bought it. Anyway, but that started my interest rolling. What else is going on at Adepticon? So let's talk about Halo Flashpoint first. Obviously this is yet to release, but we have so much more information now after Adepticon in this form of exactly what comes in the box, when it releases, and cost. That's cool. We've also seen now a full demo of how do you play Halo Flashpoint. For those of you that have watched my previous discussion video on Halo Flashpoint, it is, 100% confirmed, it is literally Dead Zone. There you go. It is 100% Dead Zone, the same rule set, but Halo models. Cool. Good, I guess. The only thing I can say to that is I think Dead Zone is a good rule set. I think it's perfect for the crowd that could potentially grow from the Halo IP, who are coming over because they like Halo, not because they like wargaming. So I think it's actually like pretty perfect of a blend between the rule set and a larger IP. So that's cool. We have the Spartan edition and the Recruit edition. Not even going to look at the Recruit edition. I've lied. I will look at the Recruit edition. Recon edition it's called. Okay, fair enough. So 60 quid for the Recon edition. I'm stood in the way again, aren't I? 60 quid for the Recon edition. 100 quid for the Spartan edition. The deluxe terrain set is again just the standard Dead Zone terrain that you can build in any way you want. It's all hard plastic. It's actually quite good. You do have to super glue it. I have not managed to make mine stay together without gluing it. Cool. It looks like you get a little bit more in the deluxe. What's the Recon edition? Let me rein it in, sorry. So yeah, they've told us this now. It's 8 models. You get 4 blue Spartans, 4 red Spartans. Cool. Good. You also get card terrain, and you get enough to play the game. There you go. If you want, that is your box. Anytime you fancy whipping out some Halo, you can Recon edition, you're done. You can also get the Spartan edition. That is a crap load more models, which is, I think it's 8 red, 8 blue, and 4 the Banished. I had to quickly Google what the Banished are, because I don't really know. I'm not really up to date with my Halo lore. Basically, the Banished are, in this case, elites. They are the Covenant. You probably see, if you're paying attention to Halo Flashpoint, you are probably seeing in a lot of comment sections, I'm not buying Halo Flashpoint until the Covenant is in it. They are. We've seen their models right from the get-go, so I don't really know why they're saying that. The Covenant is a religious sect. The Banished are a sect, a group of the Covenant. That the same races are in the Banished and the Covenant, but the Banished were just exiled from the religious fanatical sect that is the Covenant itself. Cool. You can also pick up Master Chief. He does not come. Apparently, I haven't watched the TV show, but I suspect from what I've heard online that might not be a factual statement. But if I were to continue that statement a little bit further, that sentence, he does not come in any of the boxes. You have to buy him in the paint set. I think he might be a pre-order bonus, so if you buy now, he comes for free alongside the Recruit and the Spartan edition. There you go. One player token set and dice sets. I believe these just come in these in your starter editions. But if you don't want to buy a starter edition, you can pick up the individual things, which does lead to the question, but then how would I have models? Two answers. Firstly, proxies. There you go. Secondly, they have confirmed what Wave 2 is going to be. So Ronnie said in an interview with the guy that I also saw him do the demo for, long-time Dead Zone channel that, he said Wave 2 was going to be basically just more models. So in the first wave, in Recruit and Spartan edition here, you're going to get standard guys. You're going to get a Spartan with a rifle, a Spartan with a sniper rifle, that kind of thing. Maybe not the sniper rifle, but normal dudes, okay? Wave 2 is going to introduce list building and models for advanced list building loadouts. So instead of starting the game with a rifle, you can start the game with a grav hammer or a rocket launcher. But obviously that's going to then build into the list building, and we don't know any more about that. He also confirmed that there's going to be more races coming above just Spartans and these guys, the Covenant. So that's cool. Yes. Is there anything else to say? No, it's available. It's available to pre-order now. I think it releases August. Is that right? I want to say August, September. But honestly, I could be thinking about something else there. So let's say August, September. That seems good. Okay, cool. I guess we're kind of done with Halo Flashpoint till it releases now, really. Because we know the rule set in depth. We know that. We've seen a gameplay demo. We have the full Dead Zone rulebook. We just need models and more releases, I suppose. So that's cool. Good to know. Moving on, we then go to Atomic Mass Games. Now, as mentioned, I was interested in this because I had a sudden urge to play Star Wars Xwing, the miniatures game, again. And then I realised that they did the one-player starter boxes, so I was balls deep immediately. Classic me. My bad. What can I say? But then whilst there, I thought, okay, what else is Atomic Mass Games talking about this year, not last year? Because there's some things going on with Atomic Mass Games. In case you're not aware, they kind of have the IP of Star Wars and Marvel for miniatures games. So they do Star Wars Shatterpoint, Star Wars Legion, Star Wars Xwing, and Marvel Crisis Protocol. But I don't care about Marvel, so I'm not going to say anything at all about that. I hear it's a great game. I don't know. Don't care. So we have Star Wars Shatterpoint, which I have the core box of, and I bought 2 additional expansions for. So, like, why don't I play it? It's kind of weird. Also, I'm not a big fan of 40k. You know what? I'm not going to say objectively, that's too much, right? But, like, almost everybody that has played Star Wars Legion just kind of agrees it's better than 40k. And I'm not crapping on 40k here. I want to stress that. If you enjoy 40k, that's awesome. It's not for me, but I totally get that it is for some people. But, you know, Survivor's bias, right? But it really does feel like everyone that plays Legion just kind of says, yeah, this is just better than 40k. Like, so I decided to pay attention to what they were talking about for Star Wars Legion as well. I know from years back that I like Star Wars Xwing, and I liked Star Wars Shatterpoint. Once I had it in my hands, I played a few games, I liked it. I love the scale. That you guys haven't been in my head for the past few months, but let me tell you this. Don't pick that model up. I'm not allowed to see that one. You know, don't get me wrong. This little dude here, right? This little Space Marine, cool size. But what if he was twice as big? Oh, yes. Genius. I love it. I genuinely really like the Star Wars Shatterpoint models. I think they're a great size. Size does matter. It turns out. Rip me. So anyway, they announced a bunch of stuff. Now, I've got to be honest, they're really plumbing the well for Star Wars Shatterpoint models. A lot of their releases I kind of don't care about. I don't have any connection with them. I think Clone Troopers look cool. I know some of the models. I'm not an extended universe guy. I don't care about Rebels. I don't care about the comics. I don't care. Give me the main stuff, you know? However, one thing they did say that's cool, I did play Battlefront, so I have that item versio thing. I could be into that. I like that they're moving into the original trilogy stuff finally. That's cool. And also they did mention, and this is quite cool, they mentioned the possibility, is that the right word? Maybe. Possibility of generic Jedi, which is really cool, because one thing I personally really like about skirmish games is my guys. It's cool that I could put Guillaume or the Lion or whoever on the tabletop in 40k. That's awesome. They could be the generals commanding the army, right? But in skirmish, I want my dude. I want my guy to matter. That's why I like Kill Team. It's why I like conceptually Commander, even though I don't play it. There's other reasons for that. So the idea of finally bringing in, what's the word? Generic, that's the word. Jedi, really cool. I'm well up for that. They showed the actual models in Legion, but I believe they just kind of offhandedly mentioned it might be coming in Shatterpoint. Not quite sure. Cool. Nice, there we go. But that's a cool idea. And that is Star Wars Shatterpoint done. We then go over to Corvus Belli Warcrow. Now, for those long timers out there, Corvus Belli actually sent me Warcrow Adventures, which is a Kickstarter they did for a dungeon crawler a fantasy dungeon crawler set in their world of Warcrow, or Lindworm, I believe. I didn't entirely love it. For one reason, I thought there was a lot of really cool stuff in it, but I kind of bounced off the dice system, partly because I'm colorblind, and two of the dice I just literally couldn't tell apart. Kind of an issue for me. Yep, classic me. But you know, whatever. Just like all they have to do to fix that is give out a bonus dice set, like as prize support, let's say. And it's instead of being an opaque dice, it's a translucent dice. And that means in my head I could swap the green translucent dice with the opaque translucent dice. And then when I'm looking for the green dice, I can look for the very obviously different dice instead of the slightly not orange dice. Right? That's it. That's all I need to do. Cool. Nice. So anyway, Warcrow has been bubbling along in the background. They are, if you're following it, they are slowly building it up. We finally, it has been so long. Sorry, that's the Warcrow logo. Here we go. So they then did their Adepticon announcement. Let me get out of the way somehow. Here we go. For Winds from the North, which is, if you're familiar with Corvus Belli, this is exactly the kind of thing they do in Infinity. This is going to be how you start the game. It's going to give you the 2 sides of like 8 models a side or something. They're going to be plastic. That's why I'm super interested in this, because I can finally get into a Corvus Belli game and not have to deal with metal models. I just don't like metal. That's how my life goes, okay? So I'm actually quite excited for this. They also gave this a release date. I'm going to say September again, but as you can tell, I've looked at a date and put 2 different products in the same time, so that's probably wrong. The reason I'm interested in this is because it's a skirmish game, and it looks relatively in-depth. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm kind of into that, you know? Like, I feel like I could handle that for a fantasy game, you know? I want to have different things that slot in for different kind of interests. Sometimes I want to play a fantasy game. Cool. What can I currently play that is a fantasy skirmish game? Well, you know, Cry. Don't know how that happened. Cool. Yeah, good game. Great models, obviously. But it's not exactly an in-depth game, is it? It's a mess-around game. I've got 5 minutes to kill. Let's bang a Warcry. And I'm like, well, sure, fine. But maybe I want something a little bit more than that. Maybe I want something that is a bit more kill team, but fantasy, you know? Another one is, what's it called? Frostgrave, right? Cool, fantasy, but it's got a very strong theme, and sometimes I don't necessarily want to be doing that sort of thing in that sort of world. And so it is, however, also relatively light as a skirmish game, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that. That's good for some times. But it looks like Warcrow might be a Corvus Belli game in fantasy. It's not the same as Infinity. It doesn't have that kind of depth. It's a very different system from what we can tell, but that's potentially interesting. So I'm definitely paying a lot of attention to Warcrow. Winds from the North. Cool. Yeah. They've also announced, finally, that so the release schedule is exactly the same as Infinity. So it's going to be big box, which in Infinity would be an operation box, and then in Infinity they have a beyond operation box, and they're doing exactly the same here. I don't think they're calling it a beyond box. They might be calling it a discovery box. I can't remember, but from a sales model perspective, it's identical. You get this, and we have seen the terrain for this. It actually looks really cool. That didn't help much, but there you go. Where is it? Here we go. Terrain. So you get like a full table in this box, which is really cool. And I'm very interested in that. I don't know if I like it. I would have to play it before I kind of go balls deep and commit. But it seems interesting. I've definitely got my eye on this. And on top of everything I've just said for Warcrow, let's go to the next window. Here we go. This is Swiss Miss Gaming. They are an Infinity podcast, but this is legitimately the first gameplay demo I have seen for Warcrow in English, which is crazy because I believe that there's been Warcrow demos in Spanish for like months now. So the Spanish community already knows exactly how to play this game. But me, as a poor, simple English man, I'm like, I've got no clue. I literally don't know. I was very interested, and I haven't really been paying attention, right? So it's not like I've been scraping it out and asking my Spanish friends to, you know, convert, so to translate for me. But really interesting. So in the bottom right-hand corner, I'm blocking it here, we see the same initiative dial that is in Warcrow Adventures. And in Warcrow Adventures, this initiative dial, which I did manage to play a game with, was super interesting. And the fact that they brought it along to the full game is really, really interesting. So I'm not going to talk about it too much because I don't fully understand it. But anyway, check out Swiss Miss Gaming if you want to see this demo. And additionally, because I have to shout them out again. Not here. Here we go. So this is a battle report that they did 3 months ago. It's just Infinity N4 battle report. Just Google Swiss Miss Gaming. This is like, so it's got 7k views on it 3 months ago. This is like the best battle report I've seen for Infinity. It's stunning quality. 7k views. That hurts my content creator soul. Go and check it out. Like it's a great battle report. If this was 40k, this would be a channel people watch. That's kind of what I'm saying, right? Like, go and check this out. Great production quality. I hope that they continue, but it's been 3 months and they haven't, so I get it. I get how I can look at this and see how much effort that was. So, yeah, I get it. Rip. And we then move on to away from Warcrow. Just a quick shout out now to Centerfall Gaming. He typically covers Age of Sigmar, but he does cover other stuff too. Check him out because he's actually captured these screens. I didn't because I'm too lazy. Conquest Last Argument of Kings. I don't play Conquest Last Argument of Kings. I also do not play Conquest First Blood, which is their skirmish version. These guys actually sent me a copy of like a starter warband for First Blood, and I've never discussed it because I don't like it. Because it's not the kind of skirmish game that I want to play. But actually, I hear, like genuinely, I hear nothing but good things about the company, Parabellum. And for those that are into the full-size game, which you can watch battle reports on Play on Tabletop, by the way, they do a bunch of battle reports for this. In fact, they just did one where Tycho played against the lead game designer. So, like, this is a good game from everything I can tell. It's rank and flank, fantasy. It's big scale as well. Like, it's, you know, Star Wars Shatterpoint kind of scale. Like, big models. But yeah, I bounced off the skirmish, and that then in turn made me bounce off a little bit the full game. And I was like, But they've just released a bunch of new stuff as well, so definitely go check that out. And final note, obviously, in the stuff that I am interested in, I have to mention Warmachine. Am I super into the rule set of Warmachine? No, I think it's a good rule set. I think, considering where it came from, the time it was, and the DNA that it had to work with back then, and how it's been pulled forward, it's amazing. It's as good as it is. But from a rule set perspective, it's not skirmish. It doesn't really tickle my pickle that great. But the Orgoth Cursebound Cadre is a really cool set of models. In fact, I would say that almost all of the Warmachine Cadres are absolute bangers, and I want them all, to be honest. Apart from the Fire Toad one, that's not doing it for me. Maybe if I see the models in person, but this Cursebound Cadre, the Ghost of Ios, and the Shard Incarnate look absolute stunners. I want all of those. And they're all like single box playable things, so you don't have to buy the full starter for 150 quid. You can buy Cadre and you get, anyway, it's a thing. The reason I mention these is because these finally went up for pre-order, so they're coming to the game soon. There you go. That's it. I don't know, man. I just wanted to talk about other things that are exciting me. That's all. And these are the things that I'm currently keeping my eye on. Halo Flashpoint, Star Wars Xwing. I would be interested in Shatterpoint, but nobody plays it. Yeah, that's the reason I don't play Shatterpoint. For some reason, it seems to have bounced off my local community, or at least I don't see people posting pictures of themselves playing it, so I can kind of jump in and say, hey, do you play? When do you play? Can I join? So yeah, there you go. Star Wars Xwing, absolute banger though. So that's coming soon. It hasn't turned up yet. Otherwise, this will be an unboxing, which my patrons will get. What else was there? Warcrow. Got my eyes on it. Haven't played it, obviously. Don't know if I'm going to gel with it. It might be too much. That dice thing always annoys me. the dice thing made, like, color blindness made me bounce off Moonstone recently, but whatever, that's another video. And yeah, cool, I'm done. Thanks for watching. If you're still here, we've got Kill Team Nightmare Battle Report coming up. I'm going to cover that in some way. I'm going to say it now. Patrons, you're going to get a full watch through of that with me. You're welcome. Normal channel, you'll get an edited version of that, I guess. Because, I don't know, why not? Anything else? There is something, but I've forgotten. So, thanks for watching, everybody. What is this channel? I don't know. Bye.